Yo, what's up everyone, it's Stray Warlord or Shay by the way. I'm here today on Battlefield and finally I'm back on this. I mean, I've been playing too much Destiny and now this one decided to play Battlefield 4 and I don't know why, man. I just feel like playing this game. But I know Palestine is going to come out soon. I have not heard that's out yet, but it is going to come out. I'm pretty sure because we've already seen gameplay of it. But what we're going to talk about today is actually the next Battlefield game. Now, we already know that Battlefield Bad Company 3 is like somewhat a work in progress, but no rumor about it yet. I mean, they're working on it sooner or later. But they're already working on Battlefield Hardline, and it's basically a close quarter game. And we mean by close quarter, I mean it's very close action, it makes it fast paced. I mean, if you see one of the maps in action from PS4 beta, I mean not exactly from the Xbox One beta, you would notice or realize that it's all close quarters, close quarter action, but it's less infantry based. I mean, the only infantry is using a helicopter and a vehicle that's customized to be infantry, as in, well, if I wanted to make an SUV, you have to be putting in steel plates and all that stuff. But what's that have to do with this commentary today will be the next Battlefield game. I mean, it could be a title or a different thing. We are not sure yet, but why don't we get into the commentary for today? But before we get to there, I want you to make sure you give it a like, give this video a like, and if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button just in case. But anyway, guys, let's get on to the video. So this game is supposed to be having 128 players. Now, what the heck I mean by 120 players? I mean, I have seen the old game from PS3 called MAG, and MAG really had 120 players in the game, also 256 players in the game as well too, in which it broke the world record of having the most FPS players games in this game. I mean, it was very amazing. But there was a glitch in Battlefield 3 where, I mean, it was on PC only, a glitch or a hack where you're able to play with 228 players, in which it was unbelievable and very generic. I thought this was going to be able to work out in Battlefield 4, but in this case, it wasn't. But I'm just hoping if it ever possible again, like, make it support for the next Battlefield game. Not Battlefield Hardline, because we already know it's close quarter, but like maybe Battlefield 5 or Battlefield Bad Company 3, something that's into the next game for Battlefield. I mean, that supports the title as well too. The actual 120 player game will be probably the true look of it, the FPS. I mean, the first person shooter. I mean, if you probably don't know, it'll probably be like a true look for Battlefield. I mean, if you really go down to what I mean better netcode, better hit detection, less lag, and more variation. I'll explain more variation in a second, but if you have better netcode, hit detection, and less lag. I mean, lag is very normal, but less lag will be another way of saying, okay, wow. But it probably will make it look a true look of FPS. I mean, the true look will be something that really looks amazing in the person's eyes to say, yes, this is an actual game that works on next gen, and where you can play on, support, competitive, I mean tournament wise, as in make it objective based. I mean, of course it's objective based, but if you notice that, you have to be able to see it to believe it. Now, variation, in which I meant to say attachment situations, as in we already know in Battlefield 4, we already see a lot of advanced techniques. I mean, way how you break down the gun, in which where you go to the scope, to the magazine, to the sight, as in radar sight. Just like how, almost the same thing for the Ghost Recon Future Soldier, where it broke the gun down into different sights, magazine, ammo capacity, trigger. But for Battlefield, the next Battlefield game about to be something like that, but like where you can actually make the gun really advanced, like make a lot of changes. Like camo, let's leave that part out, because the camo is a different color. I mean, there's already a lot of camos out there. But the sights, like, make more than one sight. I mean, you already see like a few or like 5 or 7 sights. Like, make it go up to 10. Like, add some sights that we've seen before or never seen before. Like, something crazy, something amazing, something actually fun. I mean, not trying to say take the fun or take the actual point of the game away. I mean, make it something like variation for you to have a fun gun to play with. I mean, just in case. The suppressors, you already know there's 3 suppressors. The flash in there's like different types where the gun can support, in which I'm not saying to support the gun as in accuracy wise or to make a gun look better, or sound better. I mean, like the actual style. I mean, like as in the suppressor, there's like 3 suppressor types, as in the L2, the R2, and the regular suppressor or no suppressor. Like, why don't you make a can suppressor? I mean, if you've seen an Army of 2 to 4 day, they actually make a can out of a suppressor. I mean, they actually made a suppressor out of a can, and this is sort of funny because cans are really basically, they could be able to work as suppressors as well too. I mean, you can make it different cans, logos and stuff, make crazy suppressor looks. But yeah, that's what it could have been done. I mean, that could be happening in the next Battlefield game, before after Hardline, if you know what they're talking about. But I would like to see something like that happen again. Should this game become modern, as in modern-based game, or a classic game? Now, what I mean by modern would be like, let's say, if you already know modern games, like already wars, like ahead of time, where you're having wars in the modern game, like in 2014, 2025, 2030, 2060, or classic wars, as in like World War II or Vietnam. But that's one way we can put it. I mean, classic. I mean, I know some people don't. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't want to see classic, as in they want to go back in time playing this thing. But I would like to see that just in case, because I mean, they can actually do something like, let's say, Battlefield 9 1942. I mean, it was good, but they could have done better. But if this was like next gen, then they can probably still do better. I mean, if you get my point. But what I mean is make it actually realistic. Like, let's say, I mean, not too realistic, as in like if you know Insurgency or any other game that was very truly realistic, then you probably notice that if you're shot in your leg while trying to go to the objective, that limits your speed of your character. As in, if you're trying to run and get shot, then you're not gonna be able to run as much. You're probably limping. That's not a good sign. If you get like shot on your shoulder, or I mean shot on your shoulder or on your arm, not so surprised if it gets shot in the hand, then you're really gonna have a limit of be able to have the timing of going into your scope and killing the enemy. As in, you're just gonna have the limited time of going in scope. As in, you know, the ADS situation, quick ADS will be decreased. Now, what may actually realistic, as in if you die, then it can show blood, fallen limbs, or bones, like you're like how what he did in World at War, Call of Duty World at War. They show blood. They actually show you your limbs, your arm, or your leg being torn off. But something like that can happen in Battlefield. That can be really, really surprisingly amazing for me to see. That's what I would really like to see in the next game, after Holland, as I mentioned. But that's one way to find out, and that'll be sooner or later. The sound effects will be the same. Like, I'm not saying according to Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, or Battlefield Holland standards. I mean, of course, it's supposed to be the same thing. Explosions, suppression of weapons. The explosion, every time you hear an explosion, if it's close by, then of course you're gonna have a sound reduction towards your ear, in which the player to experience. But if you're like far away, far distance from the explosion, then whatsoever, of course, you're not gonna have reductions to the noise. But in this case, you're gonna be able to hear it. Now the suppression for sound effects, well, of course, same thing, sound reduction. But if you're far range, then it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, of course, you're gonna still have the same situation with the sound reduction to one of your ears. I mean, if you get my point. Weapons from Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield Bad Company 2. Well, we already heard of weapons in Battlefield Hardline as well too. This one, however, I would like to see the same go well with the Frostbite 3 engine, like buff a little bit noise up, and then I'll say we'll call it even. I mean, that'll be not optional, but that's one way of saying okay, that could be helpful. I'm gonna be able to say that could be optional for a character customization. That's only for a modern version of Battlefield, if, but also not for classic, because I mean that's not gonna be very possible near. Now, of course, the last thing that we need to see is the game being fast-paced. I mean, when I mean fast-paced, I mean for you to not be too slow. I mean, for you to run your objective, have your everything set up for yourself. Other than that, anything else I'm missing, you can go ahead and leave comments below. I mean, what do you think that should Battlefield be like? The next Battlefield game should be like? Even though we do miss Battlefield Bad Company 3, I mean, want to see Battlefield Bad Company 3 in action, but There's only one way to find out. I mean, I really want to see something really change up for the after battle for Hotline. But anyway, guys, my name is Trey Overlord. I'm about to be out. I will see you guys later. If you did enjoy the video, then go ahead and press the like button. If you're not on the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I will see all of you guys later.